Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rebecca. I am the founder of the AI Burn Center, and this series is all about our platform, Vouched.FYI. If you missed the first video, it's going to give you a little bit more about our ecosystem and what all is built into the AI Burn Center. But we are going to zero in on how we built Vouched, our mindset around it, the things that we consider guiding principles. These are non-negotiables for us. The reason I think it's necessary and it's important is that you understand, number one, there's actually a human being behind everything that's being decided, what's being pushed out. This is not funded by a hedge fund. It is not. Yeah, we're not a massive corporation with deep pockets or a history of building software. That's not who we are. We are a husband and wife team that knew the market deserved better. There was room for it. Somebody needed to step up and fill the void, and we figured out that actually could be us. So we have stepped into this role as co-founders of this startup HR tech, and that's what we're calling it, because we are kind of serving this function, this missing function of the HR role. And so today I'm going to talk to you about exactly what it is, the way we think about this, the way we're looking at this. And hopefully, this will be sending out the right signal, and the people that respond to that signal are usually going to be people that say, I believe what you believe, I think like you think, and I want what you're doing. I want to be a part of it. And so, with all that being said, let's talk a little bit about why we've set up Vouch the way it is. So, in the previous video, we talked about we're connecting two sides of the market. We're connecting the job seeker and we're connecting an employer. So when it comes to who can post jobs on Vouched, we have decided that the best way for us to restore trust, remove the cynicism, and start from a solid foundation between a candidate and the actual company they are going to work for is to remove the middleman. So we are offering job postings as a direct hire process only. That means that we are not inviting staffing agencies. We are not inviting external recruiters or third-party recruiters. The people that we are inviting to post jobs on the platform are actually the employers or the company where our candidates will potentially go to work. And the reason we looked at it this way is that for some reason, all the automation that's happened in the HR bubble, if you will, of a company, there's been a lot of automation in there. There's been a lot of project management workflow efficiencies that have been built in. But because of all of the things that have changed for HR, it seems to be the trend that farming out the job of finding cream of the crop, top talent, great candidates for the future of the company has been put into someone else's hands. There may be a lot of reasons for that, but we also believe that the technology is there to restore the direct communication between the two parties. And if we are able to put the right tools in the hands of an employer or of a company, they don't have to pay thousands of dollars to recruiters to go out and do the function that technology can actually do for them if it's built well. And so that's how we are looking at for right now. Yeah, it's direct hire only. If you are actually the company that's going to be hiring someone, you are the people that we are talking to and inviting to post jobs on the site. We also are requiring full transparency in salary. Every job posting has to have a real and honest salary range. And being on the job seeker side of things, if I'm going through a job board and I see a job listed that's somewhere in a range of 50,000 to 250,000, that is way too big of a range to make any sort of educated decision on. On one extreme, somebody may be thinking, I'm about to change zip codes, I'm about to buy another car, I'm about to send my kids to a different school, I'm about to upgrade my wife's wedding ring. Like $250,000 could give you a totally different lifestyle. Absolutely could. But if you are going through an evaluation process and then your job offer ends up being for $30,000 base with the possibility of earning $50,000 in 2 years, then the compensation structure is inevitably going to change before then, and that the only like 0.05% of the company actually earns 250,000 or above, and usually those are C-suites or even the owner, and that's the only person who's actually making 250,000 a year. That is dishonest, it is discouraging, and that is what builds in the broken trust that we see happening between employers and the job seekers that are out there. So there was a point in time where that wasn't the case. If you applied for a job, you knew what the salary range was, even if it was 60,000 to 75,000, somewhere in there based on your experience, based on whatever other criteria. That was an honest way of positioning what the role was worth. And we believe that we can restore that. We have to go about it and look at it differently. If our goal is to start off on the right foot with a candidate, then we are going to have to show true numbers when it comes to the salary range. So that's one of the requirements and non-negotiables on our platform. We also are only inviting verified employers. We only allow verified employers to post jobs on the site. So, what does it mean to be a verified employer? Well, we think most HR departments or hiring managers are going to have an email address with a domain name that is clearly and distinctly part of a company where they work. They are honestly the person that's responsible for bringing in talent. So we are looking for that. But we also know there are some mom and pop operations out there. Smaller companies, if you will, that maybe they don't have their own domain, or maybe they don't have email addresses associated with their company name and in a domain structure. That's okay. It's not that you can't post jobs. It's just that there's another layer of vetting that we do here at Vouched in order to make sure that it is a legitimate employer. That's where the human eyeballs actually seeing what's coming through the system becomes super valuable. We really want to make sure that every employer that gains access to our system is verified, and we're going to take steps to ensure that so that the candidates aren't wasting their time either. Next. Job seeker information with us is never for sale. A lot of job seekers have found that when they submit their application to a job, there may not be a real job on the other side of that. So, what's the point of that job posting being out there? Well, it's to collect your information. It's to scrape your information. It's to build out somebody's database that can then turn around and sell that information and make a living off what they've grabbed from whoever hit that submit resume or submit application button. And that is their sole purpose. Who wants to function in a world like that? Who wants to live in a world like that? That is part of the breakdown between employer and job candidate, is that there's this business model that is dirty. It's wrong. It's unwelcomed in the environment that we're building in Vouched. So we are doing all we can to prevent scraping of profiles by bots or from somebody who's manually going in and trying to get as much information from our candidates and that user pool as possible. And then also, we are not in the business of selling people's data. That is a moneymaker for a lot of job boards, but we're not a lot of job boards. We're Vouched. We're different. We think different. We believe different. We have values that guide us and move our decisions in the company. And so your information's not for sale with us. We're also requiring a 14-day posting accountability for all job posters. If you are posting a job on our system every 14 days, that is the lifespan of your job post. And someone may be thinking, that's a tight window, Rebecca. Are you sure about that? Yes. I am sure about that because I think in 14 days, if you are genuinely looking for top talent, you are going to spend the time necessary to go through the candidates that have been matched with your job posting. And yes, that's part of the feature of the system is that we help match the candidates that are in our pool with the job posting and the job description that you have used to accelerate that connection and make sure that it is not delayed. But within 14 days, if you're going through our candidates, you should be able to create a pool of candidates that not only indicate they are qualified, but they also have vouchers, they have badges. You can request an initial interview. There's also a messaging system, so you can start to communicate with that person within the system. So within 14 days, we believe that someone can either be hired, the job may need to be reposted, or the job needs to be closed for a moment. Because if you've collected enough candidates to go through a talent pool and schedule interviews and start to reduce it down to some final candidates, you can close it. And then if you don't find the right person, that job can be reposted again. But our goal is for you not to have to do that. Our goal is to help you match the right candidate with that job description and make sure that you have that position filled as quickly as possible. So this expectation of 14 days, is it tight? I don't think so. I just think it's different than this long, drawn out, we have all the time in the world. We'll eventually fill it. We'll just keep the job open. Candidates will keep, applying and we'll go about it that way. That's become the norm, but is that the best way to go about it? We don't think so. We think there is a way to do this quicker and better and faster if you have the right tools to help you. And so that's what we were going to be talking about employer features in a future video. But that is why we're looking at 14 days as the short window that we want to open up. There's also going to be a place for someone to indicate as a job seeker that they have been displaced due to AI. We think this is an important characteristic. We also think employers want to know this, that a displaced person or someone that was called redundant, as ugly as that word is, that should not be a strike against them. They are still super valuable. They have skills, they have talents, they have all these things that they can bring to the table. And the fact that they lost their job because their role was automated should not work against them. That prejudice should not be there. That for some reason, that word fired usually connotates that they did something wrong. So there's an opportunity for someone to indicate that they have been displaced due to AI. And as an employer, you can actually toggle that on as a filter and say, hey, I want to look at candidates who've been replaced due to AI, and I want to isolate them. So that is built into the system as well. And employers, we do want you to commit to being open to looking at these candidates. If they've been replaced, if they have lost a job due to AI, this is, again, going back to that cry that I can hear when I'm looking at certain other platforms where people have been looking for work for a long time, and it's really starting to weigh on their self-image or their finances or their marriage or their relationship with their kids. They need work and they need to get back to work as quickly as possible. So knowing that and knowing that there is something we can do about it to say, hey, this person should be considered and this person has been affected by a technology that they never saw coming back when they graduated from the university or wherever that, their skill set originated. If you graduated in the late 90s or 2000s, I bet you never thought that the skills and the experience that you had would ever be replaced by technology. So we just think that's an important characteristic that we've allowed job posters to be able to filter by. And then lastly, there are some commitments that we ask both a job seeker and an employer to agree to. And one of them for both sides is do not ghost. Do not ghost each other. That is part of the breakdown in the trust and in the transparency of this process. If you are a job seeker and you decide, hey, I found a job, I'm good to go. Thank you so much, Vouch, for all your help. There is actually a toggle switch for you to say, I am not actively looking right now. You can keep your profile, keep it set where it is. But job posters, employers, you have a responsibility to the people that you have access to. So if you are going through, again, going back to that 14-day window, They need to know where they are. There is a way for them to see their status, if someone's viewed their profile, if someone has reached out or they've been shortlisted. All of that is communication that can and should be restored into this initial interaction between employer and job seeker. So, again, these are just non negotiables for us. This is kind of our mindset as we go into the series about Vouched and about the features. This is just how we think and how we want to go about making this very different than anything else that's out there. And we think we're going about it the right way. Again, my name is Rebecca. I am a founder of the AI Burn Center, and my husband and I have built Vouched.FYI. So if you're a job seeker or an employer, you want to go check it out, you can go create a profile for free today. And yeah, we'll look forward to meeting again under the same circumstances next week.